Hi, good afternoon, each and everyone. Today's video, I will teach literature and language learning, a brave new teaching guide. So, the benefits of teaching second language literature. So, first of all, why exactly should you teach literature? What can your students gain from the experiences, or so on and so forth? There are three models of literature based on teaching the language classroom have been developed, each one based on different and compelling reasons for the practice. So, the culture model advocates to this model believes that value of literatures implies in the unique distillation of culture. In this model, the class reads fiction of poetry as part of their instruction about history, politics, social mores, and tradition. So, the language model, given the literature built from language, it opens path for the students to construct their own understandings of words and phrases. So, according to this model, reading is the value of the same reason. It's a value in students' native language, and it gives them to the tools that more effective and communicative. So, the personal growth that I encountered or the focus on is the model that focus in one engagement. Teachers use literature to help students understand themselves better, that connected with the world around in the deeper way to explore a universal theme. So, which models appeals to you the most? To reap the full benefits of literature in the classroom, you can certainly combine all three models: language, culture, and personal growth, and intrinsically connected to make sense to teach them in the conjunction with each other. So, here are the specific ways which your students expand their language, culture, personal growth from the experience of learning literature in the second language. So, literature offers experience that can only be accessed to the target language. That funny play on the word scene of Shakespeare's like won't have any meaning if explained out of the context. The relationship between France and African countries like Algeria from life more vividly in the light of the writing of Camus. Such experiences give students a front row seat to history culture which would be impossible to replicate otherwise. So, literature gives students unique understanding of target culture. So, the teaching idioms from the textbook is not memorable, but the reading is eating, and the conversation between two strong characters will surely stick out in your students' mind. So they can also witness life through the eyes of the soldiers. Pictures that writer statements in a way that gives insight in the people events of shape the culture. So literature makes seamless connection between the language and other subjects. So we all know that language is more relevant to the students if they can connect it to the other disciplines like art, history, math, or instruction in their native language. So sometimes language teachers need to explicitly spell out the connection between target and these are disciplines. But literature makes these connections effortless, allowing us to teach to the whole person rather than target language solely. So literature provides better understanding of the universal nature of language. So how many times have you told your students that learning a second language help them understand their own language better? Literature brings the point of life. Students will examples of metaphors, symbols, pans, and analogies that makes them think about similar constructions in their native language. And the universal truths behind them is connection and language personal growth in a meaningful way. So here are the examples that I wanted to explain. Now we have to discuss the poem of the road not taken by the Robert Frost. Today's activity, I want you to read The Road Not Taken by the Robert Frost. Anyone who wants to volunteer? Okay, Mr. Gutierrez. Go ahead. Okay, Mr. Khan, thank you for this opportunity to read The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. And I'll start. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood. I'm sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveler long I stood. I looked down as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth, then took the other as just fair, and having perhaps a better claim, because it was grassy and wanted to wear. Those for that the pursuing there had warned them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay leaves no step had rode in black. Oh, I marked the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on the way. I doubt if I should ever come back. I should be telling this with so sad. Summer goes and ages hands. Two roads diverged in the wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and then has made all the difference. Okay, Mr. Ken, as what I can see, the road not taken is a poem that agrees for importance of our choices, that both big and small, since they are shape all journey through life. Okay, Mr. Ken, as what I can see in the poem is the road not taken is a poem that argues the importance of our choices, but big and small since they shape our journey through life. And that's all, Mr. Ken. Right. So that is the road not taken. The speaker most choice between two roads between having complete information about how they differ even after having choices that road the second road. The speaker is unable to evaluate his or her experience because the speaker can't know how things would have been and different if he or she chosen the first road. In the first final stanza, the speaker imagines him or herself in the distant future looking back on this choice, right? So in this way, the poem engages not just with the choice being made, but with the way the speaker interprets that choices and assign it meaning after the fact. It is only when looking back after all that the speaker sees the choices of the which road to take and has having made all the difference. So many people have read the poem straightforwardly, right? So I can't believe that the choice did make all difference. But the poem, however, is not clear about whether the speaker's final assertion is true. So the speaker explained that he or she chooses the take the second road because it seems more grassy and less worn than the first, but soon admits that the two roads were actually worn to about the same degree. By raising the question of whether there was actually anything especially about the road not taken, his choice to take the poem further question whether the taken second road could be possibly made all difference, even in any difference at all poem. So the poem implies that speaker in the future may look back and construct a narrative of his life or her life that is simpler, cleaner, that which give the choice more meaning and the truth word with support. Using this interpretation, the poem can be read and commenting more broadly on how people fictionalize their lives in interpreting their choices and hence hide. So, as being more purposefully and meaningfully, and they really are the same. So, from this topic, you learn how to evaluate that poem, right? So, from that moment, you learn that how easy or how life without learning a single piece of literature, right? So, if there's anything question, I will can you raise that? If there's none, so thank you for once again attending my class, and I hope you learned something new about the road not taken, about the literatures we got. So that's all for today, and God bless.